So we have been seeing imaginary numbers. So when you talk about root of -1, I, we call this imaginary. What about root of -4? This will be root of, so I can pull out the 4 because 4 is positive. So I can call it 2 times root of -1. So I'll call it 2i. So if I square this, I should get -4. And I will. See, 2i into 2i, 2 into 2, 4, I into I -1. And so that gives us -4. Okay, so you can continue like this. Suppose I had root of, let us say, -3. You can write it as root 3 times I. There's no more minus because that what you pulled out was only 3. So root 3 came out. The -1 still stayed there and it became I. Okay, now you have to be a bit careful about it. Like you can't pull out 2 negatives as we have already seen. You can only pull out the positive part. Okay, now I can combine this with real numbers. We can combine them to form what we call complex numbers. These guys here are called purely imaginary numbers. Okay. There is nothing imaginary about them, just like there is nothing real about real numbers. Real numbers are also imaginary. This is also imaginary. But the word is imaginary. That we think of this as imaginary. That's all. It's not like real numbers are somehow more real. Okay, but we are more used to them. That's all. So let us think about real numbers. One of the best ways to think about a real number, in fact, we get a good sense of real numbers when we draw it on a number line. Correct? In fact, if you want to think about 1.412, you think of 1.412 as more than 1.4, less than 1.5. Otherwise, there is no way to think about 1.4. Otherwise, what does it mean? It means nothing. It's just a bunch of numbers. Right? In fact, that's where root 2 itself becomes useful, because root 2 comes as some point on the number line. So the first thing that we do when we talk about numbers, particularly real numbers, is to talk about a number line. So there is a 0, right? And as you move on, you have a whole bunch of numbers. These numbers are called positive numbers, and on this side you have negative real numbers. Every dot here is a real number. These guys here will be generally called natural numbers, integers. If I go to the negative side, it will also be called negative numbers. Negative natural numbers, positive together with 0, we call them integers. Okay. Now this whole thing is one line. What a waste. Such a huge board. And I'm only using one line. It will be nice to use this point. But that point has no number sense for us. Correct? We have, this is a number, this is a number, that is a number, that is a number, that is a number. Suppose I call this 1, 2, 3, 4, and I ask you what is that? It's probably 3.7. If I ask you what is this, and let's say this was -1, -2, -3, -4, this will be -3.2. But what is that? Right now there is no use for that point because real numbers are all written in one single line. Okay, this allows us to talk about greater than, less than. You can move this way, that means number becomes bigger. You move this way, number becomes smaller. -4 is less than 1. Numerically, it looks like -4 is a bigger number. But there are two concepts that we talk about, bigger and smaller. One is if you move to that side, it is bigger. Mathematically larger, greater than. This way, smaller. But you can also say from the origin, if I am going further away, the number looks bigger. 15 looks bigger than -1. Also looks bigger. -15 also looks bigger than 1. -15 is less than 1. But magnitude wise, -15 is further from 0 than 1 is. So there are two notions. Intuitive notion of what is bigger is how far from 0. But mathematical notion is whether you are to the left side or to the right side. Number line allows us to think about to the left, to the right. To the right means bigger, to the left means smaller. But this complex number doesn't come anywhere here. If you think about it, natural numbers did not fill in all these places. They only filled this one, then that one. Then we brought in fractional numbers and we put them there. We call them rational numbers. Okay. Then we had root 2 which was irrational. Then we found a place for that also, 1.414, right? We have a place for root 2. In fact, now we have filled in fact there are numbers which you cannot even write it as root 2. Pi, for example, is a transcendental number. It is 3.14, it is still on the real number line. But this root of -1 does not exist here. So this guy called Argand came up with a very nice idea. Okay, you're not going to give me place here? No problem, I have so much space. I will go and sit somewhere there. Okay, so you can think of another axis and we will call this the imaginary axis. We will call this the real axis and that is the imaginary axis. So Argand's idea, we call therefore this one as Argand plane. Argand's idea was, if I go 1 unit up there, it will be called I. If I go 2 units up there, it will be called 2I. 3 units, 3I, and so on. And what about 1 unit down? -I, -2I, -3I. So if I take this point, now this point is 2 like this and maybe 1.7 like this. So this particular point, we will call it 2 plus 1.7i. 2 like this plus 1.7 like that. We call this a complex number. Complex doesn't mean difficult. Complex means it is a bundled up thing together. Complex just means putting many things together. So it has a real part and an imaginary part all put together, so it's a complex number. We call this the real part and we call that the imaginary part. Now I can obviously look for another number somewhere here, and if I did that, what is this number? It is -2 minus 2i, -2 minus 2i. That is this number. So every dot is now a number. Actually, it is very, very useful, because remember how useful a real number is? Just one axis. Now I can talk about this point in terms of one number. It's a complex number. It has 2 parts to it, real and imaginary, but it's still one number. So if I just tell you the number is 4 plus 2i, what number am I talking about? 4 plus 2i will be somewhere there. 7 minus 3i, 7 minus 3i, it will be a number like this. So every point here becomes a number. If I took a point here, what will it have? Negative real, positive imaginary. Well, positive imaginary doesn't make very much sense. All it means is that the imaginary part, which is just the 1.7 or the 2, without leaving out the I, that part is positive. Okay, if I am here, this is also negative, this is also negative. That's it. So this combination we call a complex number. Usually we use the letter for real numbers. What is the most common letter? Think of a number, call it what? What do we call it? X, no? Many times. For complex number, if I say think of a complex number, we usually call it Z. Nothing, just convention. We can also call it X. But when we call it Z, we write this as X, because we usually talk about this as the X-axis, plus IY. When I write it in this form, usually I write it as 1.7i, but when I write it in terms of Y, I write it as IY. And also write it as YI, it's the same thing, but this is just the way people usually write. So you say, let's take a complex number, X plus IY. Is that clear? Now, whatever you have learnt in terms of rules for multiplication, you can do exactly the same thing, rules for addition, exactly the same thing. Okay, but you will find that this Argand diagram, this is called a complex plane or Argand diagram, Argand plane, because the guy Argand spent a lot of time on it. What you will find is that thinking about numbers like this will be very useful. Now for the next few problems we are going to try and solve, I won't use this very much. Then I'll come back to looking at Argand diagram. Before we go away from the Argand diagram, let us think about this point. This point is a number. You are used to talking about this as 2 comma 1.7 x comma y. Actually, a complex number is just two real numbers with a comma. We call it an ordered pair. Why is it ordered pair? Because 2 comma 3 is different from 3 comma 2. Moving 2 here and 3 there means takes us there. Moving 3 here and 2 there will take us there. These two are different points. This is a different point, this is a different point. The same way, 2 plus 3i is not the same as 3 plus 2i. Because they are different points. But it also means if I tell you that x1 comma y1 is equal to x2 comma y2, how can 2 points be the same? What can you say? x1 must be equal to x2, because if I want this point to be equal to this point, this has to be the same point, the x has to be the same, the y has to be the same. You cannot say x1 is equal to y2 or something, that is not going to make it equal. So x1 must be equal to x2, y1 must be equal to y2. But that is exactly true for complex numbers then. What does it mean for complex numbers? If I say z1 is z2, but z1 was x1 plus iy1, let's say iy1, and z2 was x2 plus iy2, the real parts must be equal, imaginary parts must be equal. It is not one equation, it is actually two statements. It's not one statement. This has to be equal to that, that has to be equal to this. The real and the imaginary cannot become each other. You cannot take a real number and by adding a lot of real numbers make it imaginary. It won't happen. So real will be real, imaginary will be imaginary. So two, just like these two are two different things, we call it ordered pair. A complex number is an ordered pair. So you say x plus iy, it's x comma y. That's what it means. Okay. So one way to think about a complex number is x comma y. Another way to think about it is x plus iy, real plus imaginary. But they never add up and become something. For example, I know that you can eat rice and you can eat vegetables. You can also mix it together and eat it. Okay, but they're two different things. When it goes inside your stomach, it becomes one thing probably. Okay, but you won't want to eat whatever is inside your stomach. So you eat it hopefully separately, or chapati and dal, or chapati and sabji or something you're going to try and eat, you eat them separately. Right? Now think of these numbers exactly the same way. X plus iy does not make it something that becomes a joint single number. It still remains always separate. X separate, iy separate, but then it allows us to play around a little bit with it. In fact, there is one more place where you will see this very commonly. Do you remember any other area where you might have seen this earlier? Vectors. East, west. East and west can cancel each other. You go 3 meters west, it cancels out 5 meters east. So that means it's effectively only 2 meters east. So east and west actually do change each other. North and south change each other, but north does not affect east. Up, down does not affect horizontal motion, right? Now the same idea is true here. In fact, you can think of this dot as an arrow. You can also say that this point Z, we'll call it Z. What is Z now? 2 plus 1.7i. That is this arrow. So I can also think of Z as an arrow from the origin to that point. And you will find that that's a very useful idea. Okay. So, but before we continue, let us come back to use this a little bit more. So Z complex number is actually two numbers. We are going to treat it as one ordered pair, x comma y. Okay. The real part and the imaginary part.